May 26, 1974. Fort George Island, 30 minutes east of Jacksonville, Florida. Terry Betz, a young medical student, and his parents were surveying the damage to the family's land from a recent forest fire when they stumbled upon an object that would forever change their lives. Laying in the ashes was a highly polished metal ball approximately 8 inches in diameter. The sphere had no identifying marks other than a triangle pattern stamped into the surface. At first, the family thought they'd stumbled upon a satellite that had fallen from orbit and started the fire upon impact, but no crater was detected, nor was there any damage to the sphere. The metallic orb was still highly polished and clean. With no explanation at hand, Terry picked up the 22-pound ball and placed it in the trunk of the family car to use as a decorative item in his room. Days passed and the fascination with the sphere diminished until one day Terry was playing guitar in his room. As he was strumming chords, he noticed the ball started to dance around on the shelf where he had left it. At first, Terry thought it was just rolling around from vibrations outside his wall, but as he continued to play, he noticed that the sphere reacted more strongly to certain notes on his guitar. After a few minutes, it began to vibrate on its own. It also emitted high-pitched tones, annoying the family dog. But this was only the beginning of the strange happenings for the Betz household. Later, family members were quoted as saying the music must have triggered something inside the sphere, because from that day forward, the sphere took on a mind of its own. It began to roll throughout the house under its own power, even periodically stopping and starting again without any assistance from family members. One time, it rolled around the house for 12 minutes straight, defying all known laws of physics. During sunny days, the sphere was livelier, while on cloudy days, it moved slower throughout the house. Terry began to perform experiments to test the sphere. One of the first experiments had the sphere placed on a glass table. It would quickly roll to the edge, stop, reverse course, and roll to the opposite edge, eerily searching for a way off the table, but never falling. He even tilted the table to force the sphere to fall, yet it defiantly would not succumb to gravity, baffling everyone. Another observation came when people tried to shake the sphere. While it would give off a slight rattling sound, once the sphere was placed back down, it would immediately move away from the person who shook it, often speeding away around corners, attempting to hide. The family was so frightened by the sphere's ability to travel freely throughout their house under its own volition that they decided to lock it up and bring in experts for answers. The family reached out to the Jacksonville Journal. The paper sent out seasoned journalist Lon Enger to investigate. Enger, who fully expected to disprove the allegations, was instantly a believer. Having seen it with his own eyes, Enger was later quoted as saying, "Everything that has been said about the object is true." Journalists and scientists alike soon clamored to have the sphere properly tested in a laboratory environment, but the Betz family chose to only allow testing and inspection at their home, fearing that sending the orb off to a lab might mean losing it forever. Soon experts from all over the world descended upon St. George Island to get a glimpse of the mystery sphere. All of the attention soon piqued the interest of NASA and the U.S. military. Upon seeing the sphere in action, a Marine spokesman said publicly that the ball's erratic behavior was inexplicable and that the origin of the sphere could not be determined. As the world took interest in the mystical object, the orb took on even more mysterious behaviors. Music began to emanate from the orb. In addition, the Betz household began to experience poltergeist activity as doors and windows would open and close on their own. No longer being able to withstand the bizarre activity, the family finally decided to send the orb off for testing in April of '74. The U.S. Navy requested the sphere be sent to the nearby naval station in Jacksonville. There, scientists began to study the object, but were immediately baffled. Attempts to analyze the object failed when X-rays could not penetrate the metal surface. The Navy finally brought in a powerful 300 kV X-ray machine. With a stronger machine, naval scientists discovered something unusual. 2 round objects surrounded by an unidentifiable halo material with significant density. They also noted that the orb possessed 4 different non-concentric magnetic poles, 2 positive and 2 negative. After 2 weeks, the Navy returned the orb to the Betz family and concluded, "We cannot identify the origin of the sphere nor be 100% sure of the metallic composition." With questions still unanswered, Dr. Carl Wilson from the Omega-1 Institute in Louisiana examined the sphere and added, "The sphere has radio waves coming from it and a magnetic field around it." And the field appeared to fluctuate in potency based on an as yet unidentified pattern. defying the known laws of physics. Next was Dr. James Albert Harder, a professor emeritus of civil and hydraulic engineering at the University of California at Berkeley, who through closer study concluded that the two internal spheres are made of elements far heavier than anything known to science at this time. Because of this, he also asserted, if one were to drill into the sphere, perhaps the masses would go critical and explode like an atomic bomb. From the beginning, the tabloid newspaper, the National Enquirer, had offered a $50,000 reward for any proof of alien origin of the object. With mystery still surrounding the sphere even after professional testing, the tabloid assembled a blue ribbon panel to investigate the object. The panel consisted of such notables as Dr. J. Allen Hynek, Dr. James Albert Harder, Dr. R. Leo Sprinkle, biologist Frank B. Salisbury, and Dr. Robert F. Cregan. After a week of extensive testing and discussion, the panel was just as baffled and amazed as those who had tested the orb before, and in summation could neither refute nor provide any further information beyond the previous academic studies of the mystery object. Based on this conclusion, the National Enquirer doubled its offer to $1 million. To date, no one has claimed the $1 million prize, and while there have been many theories, no one has been able to come forth with a legitimate origin for the mystery sphere, nor a plausible explanation as to how it functions on its own, making the Betz mystery sphere one of the most enigmatic mysteries in recorded history.